Lesson 5, Writing, Appropriate Resources, and the Internet. Lesson learning outcomes. 1, to clarify expectations for seminary writing projects. 2, to discriminate between appropriate and inappropriate graduate level scholarly resources. And 3, to manage Internet resources in order to facilitate the completion of the research project. You have in this lesson a lecture handout to read on writing in seminary. And this lecture handout is quite important in terms of expectations, because often when the grade that a student gets back on an assignment is lower than they had hoped, they've often missed the expectations of the instructor. Your best friend in those scenarios, the grading rubric. There should be grading rubrics at the end of your syllabi that you receive for various courses, and so pay attention to those, and that will help you in terms of meeting the expectations that the instructor has. As you looked at Gabaldi, you'll notice that she discusses what is appropriate writing standards for graduate level scholarly discourse. You're writing for a ministry group, absolutely, but in this setting you're being asked to write in a level of heightened prose that addresses a certain expectation in the academic community. Well, the next thing you want to be able to do is to evaluate websites. If you've had the experience of being on websites and thinking something looks good and then you go to check sourcing, there's no sources there, there's no references, you just have to really question the usefulness of the material. So this part of the course lesson is really designed to help you to facilitate the completion of the research project by helping you choose websites that will be appropriate for the level of scholarly discourse in which you're engaged. So you can find resources that others overlook, and you're given introduced to the topic of the deep web, and you can look at that and see if that's something that you want to go a little step further with in terms of effectiveness of websites. And then journals. The journals that you use, sometimes you're going to use a library database that you've been introduced to, whether it was ATLA or JSTOR, for example. Sometimes you're going to use Logos 4, and other times you're simply going to use web-based. And so you need to determine which medium is going to be most effective for communicating and helping you find the resources you need. And then you're working on the Pathfinder section in this lesson dealing with Internet resources. So hopefully you will find this useful, and because this is a very important area of information literacy with regard to being able to discern quickly the usefulness of websites.